Dum da dum dum.
Hey guys, Sean here. Thought I'd give a little update on my MCS 468. I know it's been a minute since you've really seen it on the table getting torn apart, and I'll be quite honest here. So, armed with my newfound knowledge from one of my previous videos regarding heavy projectiles, so using a heavy projectile in a blowback marker to, or even a tighter bore projectile, tighter than it should be, to use that back pressure to help blow the hammer or striker back, it kind of threw a wrench in my plan. So I really went back to square one, to be honest, and this is kind of where I'm at now. I've abandoned these lighter weight projectiles. These 3.2 grams from MCS. What I found is I can pretty much shoot anything 6 grams and above and have good consistent power, and those reds won't shoot, and I will give a demo of that at the end here. So I've abandoned the lightweight projectiles. You'll also notice I am back on my 12-inch Lapco. Normally I was shooting with my 14-inch. That's because this 14-inch Lion Claw is a 6.87. All the heavy projectiles I have are of smaller diameter, so it just works out better. I'm seeing better results with this tighter bore Lapco. Not higher results yet. We'll get to that maybe when I get a chance to pick up a longer Lapco, but so I'm on the 12-inch barrel. You may have noticed in some of my shorts there, I was experimenting with a spider valve body and a spider pin. I'm back on the factory valve body that's inside here. That is ported, the one that I started with way back in the beginning, but I am sticking with the Spider Eco valve pin. This morning also posted a thing about magnetic detents. So a long time ago, I removed my lock bolt and my anti-drop, and well, it left a lot of room in there. So I thought I'd try and stick some magnets in. Very first version, they fit, but they're not close enough to the ball to actually catch it. At least the riot balls. So this is the reason why I'm experimenting with the magnets, because this is a riot ball. They are small diameter. Hopefully you can pick this up. Oops. Of course, it doesn't have them because my mag was checked. Well, I should have set that one up better. Metal detents. The metal detents in this launcher, and same goes for the first strike of the Tiberius. They're good for shape projectiles, but they're just a little, for these smaller nylon balls, like these ride balls that I'm gonna slip and crack my head on. They're just too slippery and small, and they run right by the detent, so when I slam my mag in or cock the marker, at least prior to this video, they were rolling out the barrel. So the larger projectiles, like the AR Tactical Less Lethal Jewels, these work very well. The XL Smashers, they stay in these detents well. I have been testing with some BK Kinetics, and it's kind of taken a toll on my trap. Grimberg Jewels, V3, and Grimberg Far. Those all work very well with these metal detents, but I want to use the riot balls, and I think having the magnets also is a good backup if there is a detent failure. Tuned at 1100 PSI, I will tell you this right now, if anybody is going to follow in my footsteps, tank pressure is important in a blow back marker, especially if you're doing what I'm doing. So if you choose a heavy spring, the same spring that I'm running, but you only run 800 PSI, it ain't gonna work. You have to have a minimum 1100 PSI, and that's that. I did get, so I've settled on a spring. I say I settled, but I haven't. Drive spring diameter. No, thickness, and material. 1.4 millimeter by 10 millimeter diameter, or a 1.5 by 10 millimeter diameter. And I'll say, this one has been bugging me because I've ordered a lot of springs. I've ordered some spring steel, some stainless steel, and what I found obviously is I'm ordering from offshore. So even though I order a 10 millimeter, it's a little too fat, it doesn't work, and I have to go back to the drawing board, order from somewhere else. So there's been some delays in there. And the other thing that I've come to realize, I always said don't go with the stainless springs, but in this case, the stainless is offering as good a spring rate, but it's softer on the rebound, which is great for recaulking. The spring steel hits like a freight train, but also that air pressure has to reset that spring again. So the difference in material, the stainless is actually working out better. I am running currently two of these tungsten weights in here from the Cub cars. I linked that in another video. And a 100 millimeter spring. I went with a shorter spring, not a longer spring, because I found if I oversprung the launcher, it wouldn't recaulk. So there's like it's kind of a balancing act. And that's gonna vary with pressure, 100%. So some of these things, you could remove one of those tungsten weights and, you might get it to go on 800. I can't confirm that. Last but not least, I did get one of these new adjustable regulators. These have been around for a while. Cool thing about this is you can preset the pressure. So it tells you your output right there. It is a pin valve. So this it'll stay set like that until you screw it in, and then obviously it charges your marker. Unlike these, some of these older ones that I was using, where they don't have a pin valve. So this is your on off as well, and then you're kind of stuck in the moment trying to fiddle that pressure right up, and it's a fine line when you're trying to twist this knob. So that regulator, I've only tested it once so far, but I do plan on playing with the output pressures a little bit, maybe winding this up a little bit more. Right now it's set dead nuts at 1100. We'll see where that takes us. I don't know if I'm going to do much more with the valve here. I'm just, at this point, I'm happy this launcher is working, and I'll just give you the little demo here. So 1100 PSI. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, so here I'll show you first. These are the red Kinetics. .434 on a 12-inch barrel. It does have some porting and such, but you can see it didn't recaulk. This tank is right full at the moment, so I'll recaulk it. Same deal, didn't recaulk. Now, let me just toss in some heavies. These are AR Tactical Jewels. These are 8.2 grams. They are on the large side, a 685 and a 684 barrel. And I do have to push them through with a little bit of force. But as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm using that back pressure to try and reset my bolt so I can have more drive spring. .274, so that's almost a good solid 30 joules. And obviously, you didn't see me recaulk it. There we go, now we're at 30. Takes a minute for it to warm up. and that stutter, that means I'm empty. So I've come to learn that's when the last balls won't go up into the breech, just because of this is the type of feed system this has, ball on deck, and I have removed the ball drop. Hence where the magnets may come in handy here. Once I get them functioning, it'll suck these balls right up in there and I'll be able to bang the whole mag off. Let's do one more here. Let's try, I got some BK kinetics here. These are 8.1 grams. And you saw already what they've been doing to my trap. Damage is done now. That's why I don't like using the pointy stuff into my trap. But of course, you know, trying to save the rounds for future use. 8.1s, BK kinetics. 278. Second shot's always hotter. 282. One little mix up there. And that's where I'm at. More to come, obviously. I'm thinking some of these little nitpick things, you know, like that failure reset on the lighter projectiles. If I increase my output pressure a little bit more, I may pick up some of that recock. I don't know yet. That regulator just arrived today, so we will see you soon. I know I got other projects on the go and I don't have enough time for all of them all at once, but be patient, like, subscribe, share.